It really is made for adults. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Have you seen it, Phoenix?
Yeah, I love
Deadpool?
Deadpool.
Favorite.
And we're live.
Okay.
Okay. Hello and welcome to Phoenix Tremaine's Forbidden
Okay, let's
Conversations.
start over.
Okay.
So, never live, but I'm gonna record too.
Okay.
Oh, do we need to
Oh yeah, the mics
No,
are
leave
on.
them.
leave them down? Okay.
So they get to just see a little bit of behind the scenes.
Okay.
Hey guys. Hello.
Okay. So, all right. We've got sound and we're recording. 5.
Hello and welcome to Phoenix Tremaine's Forbidden Conversations, where no conversation is too forbidden. I'm your host, SD Nelson.
Rhea?
And I'm Dana.
And today we're just going to be talking and waiting for you guys to send us questions and comments and that type of thing. So, how was your week?
Well, it could have been a bit better if people were better at listening. So, anyone who hears this, if someone tells you that they have an allergy, be mindful of it. My allergy is to meat. Someone did not listen to me at a restaurant, still put it in. I was horribly sick for the past few days, tired, and I feel like no one takes you seriously. If you say, I can't have this,
Right.
people don't listen. They just think, or even if it's in the vicinity, that's still bad. But people will think, oh, it just was near it, it's fine. Or if they accidentally put it on your food, they'll just swipe it off. No. Please pay attention to that, everyone out
Yes,
there.
it's very important. It's very important. Food allergies are no joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So myself, I have a cast on, and it's actually I had a little tumble. It wasn't from defending off too many men.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm okay. It should be coming off by the end of this month, and I learned to use my left hand a lot.
Wow. I mean, that must have been really scary.
It was, and especially when you're at a certain age and you fall, and it takes longer for things to heal, you know. So, yeah, um, there's been a lot going on.
Right.
hmm
Well,
How
for
about you?
me, so I've always heard that in the U.S. it's illegal to pee in public. I peed in public last night.
Oh, congratulations!
Are you
Break the
serious?
seal, break the seal, yes, break the seal.
yes.
I was filming on set, and we were somewhere really secluded. Like it was like this open field with like evergreen trees and
Yeah.
lots of corporate buildings. And I really wanted to go, and I peed behind a tree, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm peeing behind a tree in the U.S."
Did
it
you
was
find it invigorating?
I was like, "I'm living on the edge. I'm peeing."
Let's keep it all the way. Let's keep it 100. That's
Right.
why when I travel, I always have like paper towels, wet wipes, antibacterial, and a urinal for women.
Oh my God.
Because I travel so much.
I need to know
That-
about that.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, because it's not as easy for us as it is for men to just pull over and go.
Right,
We're going to get
right,
caught.
Right, right.
So,
true.
I always have that stuff on hand because I've been into too many situations where I'm literally feeling like I'm gonna choke because I have to, like my bladder is like
Right,
filled
right.
up to my neck.
Mhm.
Oh
So,
my God.
And how does
Yeah.
a woman's journal look? Is it
And how do you use it?
right?
well, it has this top on it so that when you sit, it's so wide, no matter like what direction you're going in, it's gonna catch it and go right into. And the urinal's pretty big. It's like a box.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And it has an opening, but it gives you this. It's like think of a funnel to put in it,
Mhm.
but it's a big funnel. So it, as
Okay.
long as you're sitting on it, like let's just
you
say
sit
put
on it and you
Oh,
pee.
yeah,
while you're
So you
driving?
don't squat?
No,
You
Oh,
put,
so you
wait,
sit
hold
on
you
on.
just put it
Okay,
right
so it
underneath
just goes-
you.
okay.
So you're driving.
You
put
put it
the
right
funnel
underneath you.
under your
Like it's so round, it goes over like
Okay.
pretty much all of your vagina.
Okay.
So there's no chance to like.
So it's not
Spill
when
it.
you pee. You know how sometimes when you pee, the flow is like
Right, so it's large enough that it's going to capture
Okay.
all of that.
So you
Right.
can be driving.
Or if you just like pull over and do it, no one's gonna know what you're doing.
right.
You know,
Mm.
so you just do that, just
Mhm.
empty it out, and as long as you got your stuff
Girls
with you
are
to
there.
Oh,
Say hey.
nice.
Hi. As long as you got, ways to handle that, clean your hands up.
Okay.
Well, we have some
Tisha,
people.
Hi,
That's-
Charles.
Hi,
These are my
hi
people.
everyone.
These are my
Aw.
people.
Hello.
Hi. So wow, interesting. Female urinal.
Mm-hmm. I'm at work.
Okay. All
I
right.
always have wet wipes in your group.
Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah, that's
I'm glad you broke the seal. Because
Mhm.
now if you have to go, you're gonna be like, I have to go,
Right.
and that's the end of it.
Mhm.
Like,
I feed in public a lot.
yeah.
Really?
Oh
A
yeah.
lot. Yeah, I
Yes.
just have to go and behind a bush, building. The only thing I worry about is when you're squatting, and
If you wet
if
your
it goes-
shoes, right?
no, it's
I'm
something.
worried that I wet my shoes. Like, I,
So
Oh
that's
yeah,
happened
to me.
That's happened to me. Like if because you're trying to squat,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so it just projectiles
Right,
everywhere
Oh my God,
right.
really?
onto your
Mhm.
shoes and everything.
And what if you're squatting and there's something that crawls up like a snake?
But I mean
or
that could
something?
be hairy.
Mhm.
That could be hairy.
That would be.
oh my God.
Luckily, most snakes are more afraid of us than we are of them.
Mhm.
Luckily, but I'm sure if you went right on them, they might take some issue with that.
Mhm. Yeah.
So-
But there is something invigorating about peeing in
Yeah,
public.
it
I
is.
mean, it's like the air and
Right.
it's,
Yeah.
all exposed.
Yeah.
And plus, too, it's a huge relief when you want to pee like really
Oh
bad.
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
There's
There's
nothing
nowhere
better.
to go.
Mhm.
Right.
Like you have to go like right then and there. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's
You
no
don't have
better
it-
feeling.
Right.
Mhm,
There just isn't.
mhm. Yeah.
right.
So, something else that happened in my week is I have a peace table. I'm a preschool teacher, and I have a peace table because we can't do timeout anymore. So, the question was brought up that should timeout come back into the schools, and how do we discipline children? How do we now discipline these kids? Because if we say something, that's verbal abuse, or if we
Or the
can't
parents
touch them,
could get
or the parents
upset.
could.
Or
Yeah, it's
Oh,
that
wow.
thin line now with kids.
it's
So,
too thin.
Yeah.
I hear that because when we went to school, the boundaries were there, and if you broke them, you had to pay the consequence.
Right,
Now we
right.
live in this society that there's so many kid gloves.
Mhm.
I was like, you can't. No one can feel excluded.
Right, true.
Nobody can feel a certain
Mhm,
way.
mhm.
That's a part of life. Like if you don't learn that, when will you learn it?
Exactly.
When you're
Mhm,
older and you'll be
mhm.
devastated because someone says something to hurt your feelings, and
Mhm.
you never learned how to deal with having your feelings hurt.
Right,
What do you-
right. Mhm.
I don't know. That's just my opinion. It takes your power away.
Mhm. And I feel like now the kids are too, I say privileged, but I think they're a little
That's a good word.
too spoiled because they have
Yes.
things handed to them.
Yes.
They do. And a couple of weeks ago, I witnessed in the carpool lane. I witnessed a kid held up. He was in the car. He held up the carpool lane. The teachers come and open the door for the kids. to get out. And he was just sitting in the car, and the teacher was busy, helping another kid out. And that car was like all the way back. He came, he could have easily got out. He looked like he was about in the third or fourth grade. He wasn't a pre-K or kindergarten.
Right.
He waited until that teacher came down the walkway, opened the door, and he got out. I mean, really?
That's a lot of extraness
Yeah,
happening in one
I
place.
mean-
That's not even a word, sorry, but
Does anybody out there think that kids now are too privileged or spoiled or they have things handed to them? Answer in the comments below. So, what do you think, Dana? You have kids.
Right. So, compared to what I see on the internet and what the way how I was raised when I was growing up, definitely they are privileged and they get away with a lot of things that I would not have gotten away with at that age. Like my grandmother would have probably wrung my ears or spanked me or something like that. But I mean, these days people focus a lot on the emotional health of children, and back then it was more about keeping them in line. So I understand
yes.
that there's
Yes.
a difference in. I mean, people do research now, and things are changing, like with technology and people being aware of the psychological effects of abuse and all these things. So,
But isn't that separate? Abuse and just abuse, discipline, and the kids that are so far off of that. Like, for instance, my son has a friend who I just, from the moment I met him, just did not like him. And I figured out why. It was because his parents,
yes, I have twins.
his parents let him do whatever he wanted. They almost answered to him. I thought, I don't want my son hanging around this kid because, his idea of a job when he was in college was volunteering. And the parents did do everything for him and his siblings. And to me, that's where we've gone extreme in our society. Now we're answering to our children, and it's like, wait, no, you answer to
like
me.
they're
You're my
the parents instead of
right. And that's why I knew I didn't like this kid, and it ended up being very true that was a dynamic with his family, and I found that to be absolutely sad. That you would answer to your own child. So that's that pendulum.
Yeah, that never happened in my day and age. I mean, what happened to Big Mama? I mean, come on, it's that
wooden spoons,
right? I mean, what happened to Big Mama? Where you would get, if you did something in the neighborhood, everybody knew about it. They would discipline you, somebody else would discipline you, and you got sent home, and your parents would discipline you also. Even in schools.
Talk about it takes a village. Everybody was involved in that.
So now it's different where the parents buying their kids $800 phones and expensive
all these electronics.
And expensive clothing just to say, oh well, I bought my kid this iPhone 11, so I don't have to deal with whatever, about, I don't have to deal with my child.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is parents have now given parenting over to the television, to the computer,
YouTube, and
to everything, just to keep them occupied because it makes their lives easier.
Right.
Listen, no one said it's a walk in the park. No one said it was easy. But if you want your child to not be brain dead, you almost have to go back to those old principles that we know and say, no, wait a second. No.
Right.
No. You're not going to grow up with this need for instant gratification, and on top of it, not even have a social skill set because
Right.
your face is always buried into something.
Right. Into the
You see the comments?
yeah. I can't. No. I
No.
can't see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Travis Ware is saying hi. Good afternoon.
Hi, Travis.
Hi, Letitia.
Hi, Letitia.
And hi, Tara.
Hi, Tara.
Hi, Tara. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you guys for
Yes.
thank you for watching.
Yes. Thank you.
Put it in the middle so we can
Yeah.
all see.
Okay, so can everyone see
Yeah.
from there?
I
Yeah.
think I can see.
Okay.
Right. Does anyone have any questions for us?
Yeah, like get to know me better type of question.
Yes.
Is there anything that you want to ask me?
If you want to ask any one of us,
What would you
we're
like to know?
open.
Oh, so there.
Oh, YouTube is not letting me comment. Okay.
Oh,
that's
I have a little technical difficulty,
Right.
guys.
Shout out to Siobhan. Hi, Chevy. That's my best friend. from
Oh,
like
hi.
years ago.
Oh.
She's saying that YouTube is not letting her comment.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry that you
we're
can't
having
comment.
some
baby.
problems.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
we're not
from
getting
a-
our live feed,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it stopped.
Mhm.
Hello again.
Right.
We'll do our best here. Hopefully,
Right.
we'll get restored.
How about you guys? Does anybody, any of you guys that's watching, have any questions or comments?
What's it say? Oh, okay.
Um,
Okay.
Everyone's just saying hi.
okay.
Which is good.
Yeah.
We love that you're here and you're watching.
Yes.
Phoenix, do we have any other way to get it up?
Yes.
You can go ahead into your first subject.
Okay.
All right.
We'll start talking about
Okay.
older women, younger men.
So I mentioned you guys out there. So how would you guys like dating a woman that's older if you're a younger man? What do you think about that? What do you think?
Or, I mean, I think like the stigma of it. So it's always been almost expected that men that are successful or whatever will have younger wives or girlfriends. But what about when women are hitting their prime
Mm-hmm.
and want to date men that are younger, like J-Lo's done, Madonna's
Right,
done,
right,
Cher's done it, so many women have done it, but they get the backlash of that because they get all these names. Like, why does there have to be a name? Why does
Right,
it have
like
to be
cougar.
right? Like
That
that's
type
why
of
do they
thing.
have
Right,
to be
right.
that? What if they're reaping the benefits of what these men are from young girls? You know, for whatever reason, men want to hold on to their youth, whatever the case may be. But why, if you're a woman and maybe you're peaking, and you want to find someone in their peak, can't bring that? Why can't you bring that together?
Right.
What do you think?
I think that just hit it.
Just hit it.
Hit it and quit it.
Just hit it and quit it.
Hit it
What?
and quit it. Yeah.
Well, you know,
Like, okay.
I don't think it's a chance for a relationship.
Oh, from that
Yeah.
perspective, yeah.
Yes, I don't think that it's something long term. I think
i.e.
it's
Demi
just
Moore.
right.
Yeah.
I think it's just a fantasy. You know, it's just all about
A casual relationship.
yes, just seeing something different. You know, that's what I think.
And maybe that's why it's frowned upon. Like,
Mm-hmm.
other people might see it as you're using that person, knowing that there's no future.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Right.
that's why.
Mm-hmm.
That could be it.
Right.
Or, I mean, even women that take care of if they're with a younger man, men have been doing that as well forever.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's taboo for a woman to do it, if that's what she so pleases, it's really none of our business. Do what makes you happy.
True.
Find your truth and live in it.
Yeah.
And maybe some older men go for younger women because like they want to feel younger, or mentally that's where they're still at. Women are more mature, so that's where they meet.
Oh yeah, that's
Whereas,
true.
you know,
Yeah.
some women
Yeah.
are just like, why can't I have fun? Why can't I,
Right.
for the first time,
Mhm.
maybe in my life,
Mhm.
actually enjoy sex?
Right.
So I'm gonna go to where I'm gonna find that, which is this guy that's 24.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Or maybe they were married for a long time and whatever happened was a divorce or a death, and she
Right.
wanted to try something, new,
get back
and
out there.
get back out there. That's a way of getting back out there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, I've had a lot of guys who are younger than me be interested in me as an older woman. And I don't know, like, I always feel, oh, what is it, this machine? I always feel like, I don't know, I don't know what to think about it. Like,
Would you
I'd have to-
consider it a long term? Would you do it long term? Would you be with someone who is 10 years younger?
to be honest with you, there's some guys who are mature at that age.
And that's what they want as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There are some guys who are younger who know what's going on. They have a level head on their shoulders. They're more mature than some older guys that I know. So it depends
Good
on the
point.
person. So if he's mature and he knows what he wants, and we both have a similar interest or mutual interest, then yeah, I would consider having a long-term relationship.
But you're getting older, and
Right. He's young.
Yes.
That does not matter to me. It doesn't. I mean,
And what if he, after a while, he considers?
leaving?
Yes. What?
Depends
How
on
would
the
you feel about
situation,
that?
right?
How would? Well, I mean, I don't feel like I own anyone. So if he's gonna go, it means that I'm no longer keeping him happy.
Keeping his interest? Yeah.
So if he has to go, then that's his choice. I would never let somebody like stay with me if they didn't want to.
Got comments.
Oh, look at
Oh.
this.
I don't
So
see it.
Georgia, I've
Okay.
been married to a much younger man for 30 years, happily with 2 children, twins. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we're saying. Like,
Yeah.
listen, age is just
Age
a number.
is just a number.
Mhm.
True.
It is
Mhm.
exactly.
Mhm.
Hey,
It
Gwen.
has
Hi,
nothing
Gwen.
to do with
Thanks
me.
for joining us.
See, that worked for some people. It works.
Right.
That's kind of like the cusp here of what we're saying is for some people it may work. Maybe if that, or if you meet someone, let's say you don't know that they're younger than
Right.
you and or older than you, whatever the case may be, and you've already fallen in love with them, are you going to say, well, bye, because why would you do that? Like maybe here,
Right.
what Georgia's saying is that maybe they just fell in love and the rest was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, if it
I
works.
guess it does depend on who it is, like you were saying, So that's awesome. That's
Siobhan,
awesome.
you made it online. Thank you so much for your
Oh,
comment.
yes.
She made it on.
Oh,
Okay,
yay.
yeah.
It just doesn't
Yeah.
remember. That's so true.
Yes.
Thank you for
What
commenting.
is Travis saying?
If you're really in love, it shouldn't matter. That's
Yeah, that's true, Travis. Love has no limits.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's really again, it's up to the individuals, the
Right,
people involved. Are they? Is that what they're looking for?
But let's get real here. Okay. Let's get real. If there is a younger woman, or older man, let's say 70, he's older,
Okay,
and she is 25.
like a half in his
Right.
day. Okay,
And he is 70.
Like old enough to be her father.
Her
Grandfather,
father,
grandfather.
grandfather,
Yeah.
that type of relationship. I mean, that's not.
If it was my daughter, I don't have any girls, but if it was my daughter, I would frown upon it because she's my daughter. But I guess that, but I don't know, like watching other women do it, I don't know, maybe that's their thing. But if it was my daughter, I would be concerned.
Is there
For
real
sure.
love? Is there real love?
Would you
Because
be concerned if your daughter was dating a 70-year-old guy?
I don't think I would.
I think it'd be really the circumstance. Like if I knew she was just trying to run game, I'd have a problem with that.
Or if
Okay.
it's a defiance there,
Right.
know,
I mean, because
so.
I brought up like half.
Mm-hmm.
So at the Playboy Mansion, these girls like living like that. They loved it. They loved the life. They loved what came with it. More power to you. Oh, Sugar Bear, we
Hey,
see
Sugar
you.
Bear.
Wonder
Where
the-
are you?
Yes.
So this is a good one.
You should be here with us.
Yes.
Wonder the percentages on working and not working due to the age difference. That's a really good question.
Yes.
What really, especially
Time to
time
get
to
the
get
blue
the
pill.
blue pill.
Yeah.
So back to the percentages, you know, I would think they're just as similar as like the divorce rate. Like you have a 50-50
Right.
chance.
Mm-hmm.
I would think not. Obviously, I have nothing to back that up
Yeah.
with, but Sugar Bear, she's great grandfather.
Is
Is she getting her rent paid? Probably.
Probably.
For
And
sure.
and the thing about
All
it
the
is,
way.
what if he's wearing a diaper? What if he can't get it up? You know, and she's still with him, or she's just with him to get the rent paid, and he can't get it up, and she's out there with someone her own age, and they're getting the goods. You know.
How many 25-year-old
So-
girls do you know with our ladies would you?
Just
I
the
mean-
ones in like the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
See,
I
like
mean.
Dennis Quaid just
Yeah, but
got-
who's gonna change a guy's diaper at 25? I can't see a 25-year-old.
I can't
doing
see.
that.
No.
No.
No, they'd have someone else
No,
come in and
no.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd
yeah.
probably be just there for the money, which is sad. But,
But it's
Right.
real.
And
You know?
honestly, how much blue pills can you take, Travis? Come on.
Because I heard that they affect your hearing.
Yes.
I don't know
and
that.
they
Really?
affect,
Yeah. They affect your hearing.
and I think it's some health
I never
health problems with taking the blue pill. And what if it doesn't work?
Okay, Sugar Bear, we're gonna see you soon. Getting
Yeah.
up to 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, there could be. There's complications both ways, I think.
Yeah.
But a lot of it could be like this is God rest her soul, God rest his soul. You don't need to hear it if you're in love. Okay. There could be situations where, like, for instance, Anna Nicole, she was with a man who was like what, 90?
Yes.
Okay. So he knew what he was doing. He knew that he was almost buying this woman, but he didn't care. He was happy. He wanted her there. He wanted her around.
Yeah.
So does that make her bad? Does that make him bad? I don't think it does. If they had that mutual understanding,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
you know, that, hey, right?
That's why I said, like, that's their thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I would think that I wouldn't. If I was 25,
They
no.
call blindness. They
Yeah.
cause blindness.
Sugar Bear said they calls blindness.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
he said, bills.
Yeah.
That's right.
Mhm.
Beyonce talked about that. Remember the song?
Is there sex without emotion, or sex with emotion?
You mean could you separate the two?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you could.
For sure, yeah.
How?
Sure. Depends on the relationship, first of all. Sometimes emotionally a woman leaves a man way before she physically leaves him. So you may have sex.
Yeah.
You may have sex with him and you're not emotionally like into it, but physically you want it, but
Mhm.
emotionally you're not there. You know what
Or
I'm
you
saying?
don't want that. You don't want that
Right,
connection. You
right.
just
You just want.
you're there, right? You're there to, just like a guy to hit it and quit it.
Right, right.
What? Why does it have to be wrong
For
when
a woman
does?
to do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Why does it have to be wrong?
True. I mean, can you have, if you're not into someone, can you have, pretend to have that orgasm and say, oh, yeah,
If I'm not into someone, I'm not gonna have sex with them. Period.
I mean,
Yeah.
Like,
just
Sugar
as
bear.
a,
All
if
adults,
he's,
nothing's
if
wrong.
he's fine,
okay, if he's fine, would I have sex with him?
yeah, and then you find out that he ain't got
Yes,
it,
you can.
you know.
Agreed. Sugar Bear said, it was all adults.
There's
What's
nothing
wrong
wrong
with
with
it?
that.
Agreed.
Mhm.
True.
And yes,
Yeah.
you can. Yes, you can.
Mhm.
Just think about it. The person that you're connected to is the person you're going to be with. We're talking about sex in general. So if it's just,
With
you
a
know,
random person, or with someone you know.
well, what if it was either or? What if
Yeah.
it was you were just trying to, you went to the club, you're just trying to
Mhm.
hook up,
Right.
or maybe it's
Oh.
someone you know and you're more comfortable because you know them. You just want to have sex, but you know that person, so you're comfortable with them. It doesn't have to be any more than that if you both get the memo
Right.
that
And you,
That's what you're there for.
right, that
Yeah.
that's
But-
what this
yeah.
is.
I don't know. I'm not a go to the club, pick up a guy type
Mhm.
of person.
but if you were in your 20s, it's a
Okay.
difference.
So we're talking hypothetical.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So let's say I was horny and I went to the
Mhm.
club to pick up a guy. We would have to have some kind of chemistry. Even if he's cute and there's chemistry there, then yeah, I would probably do it.
Mhm.
You know, but if there's
Yeah.
no chemistry, then to me it's pointless. Like I don't know, like I have to feel something. There has to be an emotional
Right.
connection for me to just have sex. With
That
a guy.
same
So-
night.
So Sugar Bear saying
When I say-
you just want the release. What about them? What if you just want the release?
Right. Okay.
Maybe.
Then I do it myself.
I
I want to go to the club.
Where's Nikki?
know, right?
Yeah, Nikki. That was
It's called
such a
Hit It and Quit It.
And
Travis, sex is physical first, and how you feel comes later. I agree with that.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I
There has
agree
to
with
be
that.
some kind of chemistry. Not that you're in love with them or that there's an emotional attachment. If you see a guy who's really fine, he smells really good, you
oh,
get
I
close
love
to
someone that
him,
smells
and there's chemistry, like he's looking at you or you're looking at him, then yeah,
Yeah.
that type of chemistry.
Now, what if you were married and
Oh my God, where did she get these
your
questions?
marriage is, but if you guys are married, so
Right.
Well,
I hope my husband isn't watching.
I think that
Oh my God.
I think I say this all the time, and I'm just gonna stick with it. If you're in your honesty and you're in your truth, that's not gonna be an issue because you're just gonna come with it and be like, well, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
well,
Mhm.
because I think all people should be in their truth, whatever that looks like. So if it's like your husband coming to you and saying, "Da, da, 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 da," or vice versa, be in your truth so it doesn't even get to that point.
Yeah.
Like just be in your truth, be able to say what works, what doesn't work. Hey, maybe you don't work anymore. Whatever. I mean, just like we were discussing, kind of if you got together with somebody, as women in our prime,
Right.
and we got together with someone younger, and whoopsie, you're pregnant. Or the other way around,
Yeah.
with the older man and the younger woman.
Mhm.
So that's kind of like, I feel like these are all things you would have to discuss.
Mhm.
They're really
Yeah.
situation by situation basis. Sugar Bear said, you don't need to be connected to connect. Attract and chemistry can grab those hips. That's true. I believe in that. I believe there's a difference between connected and getting connected and just connecting. Basically, is what he's saying, right? Yeah.
Yes.
There is a difference.
Exactly. That's why I
Yeah.
say chemistry and not like relationship or you're in love with the person.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can just have really great chemistry.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that it's. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily shallow, but it could be the way it is. Maybe that's all you have is that physical connection.
And that could be for the older man, older woman, younger man, or older woman and younger man, or younger man and older woman. So it's, I guess it's that connection or chemistry or whatever.
Even at if you're both in the same generation, you know, there can. I don't think it's any different. You can be in the same generation and run up to those problems. That's what I think.
Right.
Like there was an older guy that's
We're gonna do 5 more minutes on older man, older woman, younger man,
okay.
and then we're gonna switch to the second topic because we're stopping at 1:30.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
So,
So this older guy commented on my photo and asked me to be his sugar baby.
sugar pay. So how old was he?
I don't know, but he was older. I think he
Okay.
was older. And like
Let's say you weren't married and you didn't have kids.
Right.
and he was offering to pay me like $800 per week allowance.
Yeah.
Is that normal? Like, do people do that?
You should have
A
said
lot
pay
of
me
people do that.
$1,200. I'll just do it. No, I'm joking.
No, like a lot of people do that. So this goes back to
Okay, for FYI, I did not respond. I don't know. Like, I'm really curious about how it works. Like,
well, there's a standard.
and
'Cause
then
this
there's
is
a
the new
sugar
thing.
mama too, right?
Right. We,
Oh,
we
yeah.
were gonna talk about
Yeah.
that. Like, listen, if she feels good about doing that for the dude feels like doing that for you. Okay. Look, I'm not gonna judge that, you know, because what if you're a single girl, you have no attachments?
Right.
But what are the consequences of that later?
If you don't have your head on straight that that's not the way relationships work per
But
se,
is it a relationship though? I think
it's
like
an agreement.
Yeah, it's
Right,
not a
so-
relationship.
exactly. So like I think from what I was reading, you go out on a date, you guys have like conversations, you keep each other's company. There may or may not be sex involved. But I don't know, like I guess every situation is different.
I think sugar babies are expected to have some level of participation.
Okay.
And then it lasts for however long until he finds the other sugar baby. That,
Oh, really?
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
And some of them can just keep moving on
Right.
to younger and younger or different and switch around because men that do that, since it's so common for them, it's not a huge deal.
Right. You know.
Or
yeah.
even to have multiple at
Sugar
once.
baby.
Yeah,
No,
and
yeah,
it
it's
goes
not
for
a
the sugar mama
relationship.
too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
It's
There's
not like
sites
a
for that.
relationship,
Yeah.
so they have more than one person.
There's sites for that.
Get it in writing.
Oh,
Travis.
wow.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Get a contract.
Contract.
What
Travis sounds really experienced at this. Like,
I know.
are you talking
Have
from
you
experience?
done this
Travis?
before?
We're watching you.
Yeah.
Are NDAs involved? Just saying.
Yeah. So,
So
Okay.
I have a question. So if you're a sugar daddy, you have a sugar baby, is there sex involved? Like, I need to know that. Like, is it just that you're having someone for companionship, or is it sexual? If you're out there, you're a guy, and you know about being a sugar daddy, can you comment?
or if you're a sugar mama, and
Yeah.
or
can you
sugar
also
baby,
comment?
right?
Yes, we want to hear from the
The
sugar
sugar
babies.
Yes,
babies,
yes.
because I mean, I would think that there's some level of expectation.
Oh, yeah.
There's got to be
Yeah.
some
I mean,
level.
nobody's gonna pay like $800 a week and not expect
Right.
something.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
whatever it may
That's
be,
what I'm thinking. Yeah.
companionship, whatever
Right.
ship, you know, you would just
Right.
think that.
And what kind of sex are they expecting?
Right.
What kind of sex? So, and speaking of sex, what are ways to explore our sexuality, or what are some of the ways that we explore, like having sex in public?
Oh my gosh.
That's one. If you feel like you want to be dangerous, or you possibly like, you know what I mean,
I'm
or
like,
you
do
just
do it.
right, like just to kind of be like, we did this, or
Yes.
whatever.
Mhm.
You know, I say watch porn and figure out what you like.
Yes, yeah.
Because you're obviously going to have a response to what you're seeing, and you know if that's a good response or a bad
Right,
response.
right, yeah.
I think.
Would you guys have sex in public?
Yeah.
I would.
Really? Okay.
It
You wouldn't?
depends on where it is.
I have in Barbados because I mean it's secluded. There are lots of beaches that you could kind of get away
Out on
with
the
it.
beach, that'd
Yeah,
be great.
sex on the
Right.
beach. Yeah.
So you
It's
can
not
do
just
that.
a drink.
Right.
Where are my Bajan people? Like,
Yeah.
have
Comment.
you- right?
If
I
you've
mean,
had sex on the beach, comment. Write us. Yes.
Okay, Travis, it depends on the person, on what they need.
oh, okay.
Okay. What do you mean about what they need?
Siobhan, I know that yes means yes to sex in public, and yes, yeah, I know, right?
Maybe Travis is making reference back to the sugar baby situation.
Maybe so.
Yes, because I think we asked them to comment on if sex
We want
has
to
to
hear
be
from them.
yeah, if
Right.
sex has to be involved or not, and he's saying probably that it depends
On
on
the
What the
person,
person-
on what
on
they
what
need.
they
Okay.
need.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
maybe sexually
Okay.
or
And
not.
Right.
Sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No. There are a lot of ways to explore your sexuality. Some people, so it's in public, it could be porn, it could be, you could go to an orgy. I mean, for me, there's so many subtopics that come out of that.
Yeah.
You know, you could
So-
be raped.
Yeah, the rape issue. What if somebody's videotaping you with their phone and they post it
Or if you
on
say you don't
social
want to,
media?
or if you don't want to do it anymore, like
Mhm.
and
That's the
someone else.
law now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many, repercussions to having sex in public, especially with social media, cameras everywhere now. You never know who's looking or recording.
So is it illegal to have sex here in public? Because I've heard someone, like the police pull someone over, and I don't know if they got jail time or a ticket, but I think it ended up being pretty serious.
But they were having sex in the car.
in the car, yeah,
Oh,
in public.
wow.
I mean,
Hmm.
I almost got caught, my first love, my first boyfriend.
Mhm,
Because, I mean, we both lived at home, so you only had so many options.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
We almost got caught. Luckily, we didn't. But I don't know what the repercussions of that would have been. And that was quite some time ago, too,
Mhm.
might I add. Because, the laws might have been very different.
Different
then.
back then than it is now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Travis said everyone has different needs. Truth, facts. Sugar bear, not all the time. Sometimes just a companion, some eye candy on your arm,
Mhm,
or just want to smell her,
mhm.
etc.
What, really?
Well, that makes sense.
Yes. it
If you just
does.
want someone there, you know who it is, you've met them or you've seen their
Right.
picture,
Mhm.
and you just want them rolling with you because they look good or
They
it
smell
satisfies
good.
you.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
I mean,
fine.
there you
Yeah.
go.
Okay.
You know. We see you, sugar bear. We see you.
So, what about an orgy? Will you guys ever participate in an orgy, or have you ever participated in an orgy?
I haven't. I've never participated in an orgy.
I have not either.
I don't know. Like that would be scary for me.
Yeah, it's so many, uh, like
Variables.
STDs.
Yeah.
You have to worry about STDs.
Like you said,
Consent.
getting
Mhm.
pregnant, like you said before.
Right.
Right.
And what if you and your partner decide to do this and then he gets someone pregnant or you get pregnant by someone that's within the orgy?
There's so many. This really raises a lot of questions
Mhm.
because it's is it safe? How do you know it's safe? You just go to a club where there's orgies and assume that everyone's been
Right.
tested. I mean, let's start there.
Exactly. Right.
And
Where's the
I-
protection? You know.
I mean, I never these
would-
clubs exist.
I would watch orgy like if I'm
I
watching
would watch.
porn.
I would watch. I would watch it.
Like if you're watching porn, I
Yeah.
would watch an orgy.
Yeah.
I would watch it, but
Yeah.
participation have
Yeah.
not, and I don't believe that's something I'd want to participate in. I would watch it.
Why is
for-
Sugar Bear looking? What are you?
What is this, Sugar Bear? What's this?
What's up with your
Eyes.
eyes?
The eyes.
You've given us eyes. What's good with that? I mean, there are a lot of clubs. I think we spoke about this
Yes.
earlier. That there's a lot of celebrities that have
They have
specialized clubs for this, so they don't have to let their flag fly.
Oh,
No one knows
right.
what happens behind closed
Right,
does,
right,
and they
okay.
just want
So it's like
to do their
exclusive.
thing.
Mhm.
And there are clubs just for even ordinary people that you get a membership or key or whatever the case may be, and you can go and be free, and whether it's you're a swinger or whatever the case may be, that there's something there for you. And I say, hey, that's your thing.
Yeah.
Everyone's consenting, but
Right.
again, the consent laws are changing so rapidly. With you can say stop when you're
Right.
already in the act,
Yeah.
so that would be another problem
Mhm.
with that.
Travis is having too much fun.
Right. And you
Stay,
know,
stay strapped. Stay strapped up and review
The guest list that must be for the orgy. Very nice. Swing clubs are an entire experience.
Experience.
Okay,
Oh,
sugar, we
really?
see
We
you.
know about
Okay,
that,
you have
huh?
to tell us about that
Yes,
some more.
uh-huh.
I bet
I'd
they
love
are
to hear
though.
more about that.
I
Yeah.
bet they are. I bet a lot of the stuff that happens is because you have a lot of consenting adults in one place,
Right,
looking
yeah.
for what they consider their fun,
Yeah.
and that's let's not judge.
Yeah. And the same with, how about open relationships? As
Yeah, okay, so let me see. Would I have an open relationship?
yes.
It would depend. Like if I'm in a relationship and I'm not happy, I would go to my partner and I would talk to him and say, this is what I want. And if he doesn't agree with it, then I probably wouldn't, because I wouldn't want to overstep my boundaries. But then I would have to say, I'm not happy. I'm probably gonna just move on and leave the relationship, because if I ask you to have an open relationship, you're not fulfilling my needs.
Right. And
Then I'm
so-
leaving.
Right. Yeah.
Or
So
unless there was something that, I hate saying it, that you had to stay together for.
Mm-hmm.
And
like
then
the
you
kids
both-
or
Right, you both are just doing your
Yeah.
own thing and holding your family together and kind of have to go that route. I mean, that happens. You know? That's a real thing, that splitting up is more difficult than just staying together and finding another way. That
But-
happens a lot.
What if you think that will help the relationship by having this open relationship?
most guys are not gonna
Want their woman,
with
yeah.
another man. Yeah.
Unless
Mhm.
you guys both agree to be with other people, then I think that would probably change the landscape of that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like having an orgasm in front of your
Oh
husband?
yeah,
with another guy?
and it's like, oh, you don't twitch and squirt and with me,
Right,
Do you
right.
But
twitch
you're
and squirt?
doing it with this other guy.
right?
Oh,
And
right,
you're doing
so-
it with this other guy.
What
Yeah,
is he
like-
doing that I didn't
Yeah.
do to you?
And vice versa, right? I
Right.
mean,
That's so
okay,
good.
Travis, There are hotels that dedicate floors to swinging. So you
Really? So you
heard.
heard about that, huh?
You just heard about that, okay?
Tell us more about that, Travis.
What you heard. What you
What you
heard.
heard? Yeah.
Okay.
We would love to hear about that.
I'm sure there are, but you know, all this does play back into open relationships, what you're willing to try, what you're not really so keen on trying.
Right.
Even bringing alcohol into the scenario to
Right.
see if that'll enhance your sex drive or lower your inhibitions.
Right.
Yeah.
But that opens up another can of
Another
worms
can.
because
Right.
it's a consent issue.
Right.
Now,
Yes.
I personally feel like if you're with a person, your husband or your significant other, and you're together a long time, and you both have an agreement that, you know, he could say, I like it when you loosen up. Or you can be like, I like to loosen up 1st. That's one
Right.
thing, you know, but I think that it gets hairy when you maybe aren't familiar with the person or the situation. How can you pull consent if you're sloppy, like just
Yeah.
piss drunk?
Right.
You can't.
Yeah, you can't. And needing alcohol all the time.
That's a problem.
That's a problem. That becomes a problem when you need alcohol to, you know.
That could be a trauma.
Yeah.
You know, that could be a trauma.
That could be. That's not good.
Oh. Travis said, "You're not catching me," and Sugar Bear said, "Bingo." Okay, we're not trying to put y'all, set you up. We're just trying to get the dirt, the inside info.
So what about watching porn? How do you think? Well, first of all, open relationship for me, no. I'm the star of the show. So
Did you,
Get it?
you heard that?
watching porn, how does that?
I think that opens your mind to what you.
Can we go back to the
Yes.
alcohol thing?
Yes.
Because I wanted to comment on the alcohol thing. For me, I don't mind the buzz, but I have better sex when I'm not drunk. I enjoy it more. I remember it the next day.
Right? Yeah, and that's what
You know?
yeah, I get it. I totally get it because
So,
when you're drinking, it's like you want to fall, you just want to sleep.
exactly.
You know,
There's
you don't
nothing.
want to.
There's nothing
having
sexy
sex.
about
No, it's
being
not.
drunk and having sex. There's,
Right.
I don't know. Like,
True.
Unless you got a really bad anal situation.
oh my god, next question.
Yeah, anal sex.
No, like if you wanted to like loosen up because maybe it hurt.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing anal.
Like there's not enough lube in the world, and you're like,
Oh my god.
like you're gonna say I'll try it, but you're like,
Yeah, give me the vodka.
That's what I'm saying. Like you do a few shots, and you're like, all right, just go ahead. So some of these things, to the alcohol, to whatever,
Porn.
to porn. I mean, porn. I think would open your mind to. You might watch and say, oh, because we all know how we react to something we like.
Right.
You would know, and you'd have that feeling like, oh.
So would you watch porn with your husband and get in the mood? Would that get you in the mood?
Yeah, and I mean, also even just watching it yourself to understand what you like. Coming to the table knowing what you like is, I would think, pretty paramount. What if you really don't know?
Right. So what if what if you're watching porn together and he was like, honey, I want you to give head like she's giving head, you know?
Well, I mean, that door should swing both ways then. You know, like I could take a criticism if I could throw one back.
I'm gone. I'm not answering this question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, you are.
You're like, "Nyeh, we're not doing this.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I mean, as long as I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
I was gonna say, like, anything you want to try in your relationship, in my opinion, unless it's going to put you in a compromising position, i.e., a tape leaks, you can lose your job, you can get arrested. If it's something that's going to compromise your life severely, it shouldn't even be on your list.
Mhm.
I just want to
Sure.
say that, and it's all of these things, accumulation of all these things that
Yes.
we've brought
Yeah.
up. If
Mhm.
any of those things are going to get in the way
Right.
of real life, so to speak, how worth it can it be? Then you have to start questioning your mental.
Right. Right. Watching.
Travis, I quit drinking alcohol. I like that. Quit
Okay.
drinking ...
Yeah.
alcohol.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, good for you.
Yeah.
I mean, then
That's
you're probably
awesome.
you're probably more aware and more present
Yeah.
for the situation.
Sugar bear. I can't do it. What?
Oh, okay. Sugar Bear says, watch it and make some. I got you. I think I know what you're talking about. Lay back and watch y'all show. If she's saying, honey, can you grow to this size? You get one of them pump things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some pills. What you gonna work up? What you gonna work up?
Right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess if you're not the right size and you got to order her something that she thinks is the right size, they got websites for that.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Crazy.
Watching porn can enhance, I guess. I mean, I've done it,
Mhm.
so it
I
can.
have to,
Mhm.
especially as a for foreplay
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
start off. Like if
Mhm.
you're just lying around,
Right.
you might not be in the mood right away, but then as you watch it,
Because it's a
say,
natural
hey,
reaction
Right.
to,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
for
And
your
they say guys are more visual, so they get more out of it maybe than we do.
Mhm.
But would I try something that a porn star is doing to my partner? Yeah, I would want to try it. Doesn't mean I could probably do everything.
Right.
But
Right.
I would give it a
Right,
shot.
like,
Mhm.
I'm not trained.
Right.
I don't do this for a living.
Yeah.
I'm the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
Right, like
I'm not standing on my head. I
Right,
don't do
right.
that.
Let's be real clear about what this is gonna look like
Right,
here. Just
right.
saying.
Of course, we're not going to do it like the porn stars, but we'll give it a try.
That's what you say. They're stars.
Yeah.
Those-
There.
And
Yeah.
God love you women, y'all are some
Yes,
stars for
yes.
real. You do be taking it for the team.
Mhm,
I'm just
yeah.
saying.
So would you guys ever do it in a hot tub or pool or
Been there, done that.
yeah,
You know, like, that's-
shower? What's better? Which one's better?
Oh, because I was gonna say, who hasn't had
Yeah.
who has not have sex? In
Has
the shower?
anybody out there that's never had sex in the shower, a pool, or hot tub? Can you comment?
Okay, so Travis says it also depends on what type of porn. Truth. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sugar Bear. I heard Amazon has an extender. Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Would you be offended if he were one or took a pill to satisfy you? Not if you were down for it. Not if you asked and you were like, can you?
Oh,
Get
Letitia.
that
Hi, Letitia. Okay. She said, are you saying that you've never had sex in a pool, tub, or a hot tub, or a shower?
I say wherever you're comfortable. If you have enough room to move around, and y'all both. Because I mean, maybe in the shower you both can't like fit right. Someone's gonna fall or drown or
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That happened to me once. Like I slipped and went under the water.
But were
Right.
you, like, what position were you in?
I can't ever remember. That was so long ago. But I remember I guess I was on my back. So I
Okay.
just
Okay.
slid under the water.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I think the
Sasha said never.
oh
I'm sorry.
wow, okay.
Never as in you've never done it, or you will never do it. Like
Because
not an
The
option.
question was, have you done it? And she's saying me, never.
Okay.
I guess
Okay.
that's what she's saying.
But would
I
you?
guess.
Would you?
Would you try it? It can be fun.
Keep an open mind.
The stand up, like the stand up, behind. That's fun.
I mean, that's
in the
probably one
shower.
of the
Yeah, in the
easiest ways
shower,
in
yeah.
the shower. But
Yeah, stand up, lean over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
it
for sure.
depends on if there's a height differential or what,
Right.
how much space you have, you know,
Mhm.
like what you're working with.
Right.
Oh, I make it work.
Now in the
I
hot
position myself
tub,
to make it work.
the hot tub, I love it. In the hot tub, you could get on top. You
Okay.
know,
Right. Yeah.
like the reverse cowgirl, or
I mean,
Yeah.
is it your hot tub or like y'all staying somewhere?
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like
right.
it's a
It's
whole
like right.
nother.
Yeah, it's a
like,
whole nother issue.
Is
with,
it y'all
is it-
hot
yeah,
tub? Or you
you know.
are you in someone else's? You got like fluids going everywhere.
I know that brings up a whole nother
Bring the
more
Clorox.
issues.
I'm just saying.
okay.
I just think it's something we should talk about.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
know who not to invite over to my house.
Right, but like,
Yeah.
oh,
Mhm.
no,
Yeah,
mm-mm. All right, I'm gonna put the cover
Gotta be
on it. If
clean.
you come over, I'm gonna put the cover right on that hot tub. Like, nah, it's out of commission.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Now I'm gonna combine all of it. Drinking alcohol, having sex in a pool in a shower
Mhm.
while watching porn.
Oh my God! Like,
You could do it all, but you could possibly get hurt.
Oh.
Because if you've been drinking a lot and you try to get in the shower or get into water,
I mean,
you
I'm
could
not
slip.
saying like
right?
I'm
Travis,
saying like
bleach.
nice, not sloppy drunk.
Oh,
You know.
I mean, you could bring it in stages. You know, try
Yes,
try a
it
little
can
all
be
in
good.
once. Like
Yeah.
start with this, start with this, all in the same night.
Yeah.
Oh, this would be you, Travis. Beach
Bleach.
anyone?
Bleach. You saying bleach?
Oh,
Bleach.
bleach. I thought you say
For the
beach
top.
because you talked about
Oh no,
bleach.
Yeah,
bleach.
that's
Oh,
for
so
the hot
bleach.
tub.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, bleach. Bleach would be a big
Yes.
part of that scenario. I think you can do it all in one night.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
maybe not simultaneously,
Mhm.
but
I'm saying like something romantic, like a glass of wine and the candles flowing, and have a romantic night, not just get sloppy drunk and let's just do it anywhere. Just
I guess
romantic.
Everyone
Romance.
has their
Oh.
own idea of what a romantic night would be.
Mm-hmm.
So, like for me, it would not be like hot tub, and
Mm-hmm.
because like for me, I like to be really close to my partner, and like it's more like touching and being affectionate.
Mm-hmm.
So all the other added stuff takes away from, I think, the intimacy.
I've
Yeah,
heard that from
yeah.
people that they
Mhm.
like the
Mhm.
more.
I'm more
intimate.
touchy feely.
Yeah.
So like if you bring all this stuff like candles and the
Mhm.
hot tub and the trying to impress me with gifts, and
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, so when do we get into
Right,
it?
right,
You know?
right. Mm-hmm.
So I guess every person is different.
And it's
Sugar bear.
romance.
What is Sugar Bear saying?
I love Sugar Bear.
Hell
Hell yes, did all three, the rain as well.
Boy, bye.
He's keeping a journal like I'm gonna do
Yes,
this next
Yeah.
in
Now, that brings up a
1996.
good question, though, Dana. Is romance dead? Are we losing romance, or
Okay, yeah.
because now it's like when back in the day when I was coming up, it was courtship, dating, you courtship, engagement, marriage, then sex. Now it's you have the cow already. You're living together.
Right.
How can you get romantic being
I mean,
what's
What's missing?
what's
I
missing
think
in that?
everybody's working, like especially if you have like two incomes, like one person working during the day, the other one might work at night. You don't
Mhm.
see each other.
Right.
You don't have time to schedule sex or intimacy,
Mhm.
and it could get really specific. Like, you know what? I see you for like 10 minutes and we have a quickie or something.
Mhm.
So I think people are just busy, and you get comfortable in a relationship. Sometimes you know that the person is there,
Right.
and you
Yeah.
can have sex whenever you want to.
hmm But
And-
does if you're living with that person and not married to that person, doesn't that it kind of like, oh well, why should we get married now when I can get it?
Oh, you're talking about the marriage aspect of it.
Yeah.
well, I mean, I think we all have a different idea of that.
Mhm.
I think personally, just like a car, you should test drive it first. I mean, what if you get to your wedding night and you're like, uh, mm.
Mhm.
But we do have, okay, Sugar Bear again, we see it. They had 3 hot tubs, which I thought was crazy, in an ATL swing club. Can't remember the name. You know the name. You're just not telling us.
Yeah. Tell
Um,
us that name when you get here.
right, Latasha. I don't think it's dead, but it definitely needs an update. I would think
Yes,
you're speaking
I
of
agree.
romance.
I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
agree.
kind of that whimsical whole
Mhm.
idea of romance from like the 50s and 60s.
Right,
That's
yeah.
completely dead.
Mhm.
Yes. Sugar Bear. That's a
trifecta.
trifecta.
Yeah, yeah. But I think Latasha's right. I definitely think it needs an upgrade because I think that
Oh.
romance is, especially now for the young people, they think now that okay, I'm gonna move in with this person. I'm not gonna, I'm just gonna move in, and it's like they don't know what the like
What's gonna come with that?
right, dating. It's like, oh, I'm already living with the person. Why should I date them? We're living together. And is there a chance of marriage?
On a totally different topic, I think my kidneys are like going crazy right now. I need to take a pee break. Do you guys mind if I go pee and come out?
No,
Okay,
not
that
at all.
is
We're
just
live.
this one.
That's one thing
It's
about
not
we're
about to Joe.
live.
Listen, it is what it is,
Right.
y'all. Travis said romance isn't dead. You just have to make time to do it. Agreed. 100% agree with that because
I'll be right back, guys.
if it is a matter of taking the time. It is a matter of finding out
I'll show you.
which.
Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, worries. Finding out what's romantic to the other person, to both people, to what that idea is.
Right, yeah.
Because some people really do have this whimsical thing in their head that they think everything should be a Disney movie,
Right,
and
and
that's
it's not.
romance,
Right,
right?
and it's not,
Whereas it
right.
could just be, you can find it romantic for like, what if your significant other just came home with your favorite candy bar, or was just thinking about you, or just things like that. It doesn't have to be this whole sweep you off your
Right,
feet
this
glass
whole
slipper.
production, of a bunch
Right.
of flowers,
Yeah.
and that kind of
I
thing.
don't, I hate saying this, but I almost dislike romantic movies where everything's such a happy ending. I feel like it's such a false narrative. It really is. It's a
Right.
false narrative. Most of the time, it does not work out like that. And again, I'm one of the people that grew up thinking that Disney should pull back on the whole princess thing because it
I
just
agree. I totally agree.
it puts the wrong message
And
out
it's-
there about what romance is.
And especially for the younger kids that's growing up now, it just
Did you enjoy the princess sagas when you were kids?
I did not.
it was okay.
You
It
didn't
just
enjoy the
wasn't
Cinderellas and the Sleeping Beauty?
I was a
It-
tomboy.
It wasn't me. It's not me. It's
I was a tomboy.
as we were talking about earlier. I don't like pink. I'm
I mean,
not that
for
that
me,
girly girl.
I only liked Sleeping Beauty because I liked the dwarves. I thought they were funny.
If there's
But those
anyone
are-
out there who is a girly girl or felt like feel like they're a tomboy, can they
Oh, wait.
comment?
Okay. Sugar Bear. No, it's not. But lacking for sure. Men don't, this must be romance. Men don't have to be because most women don't require or expect it. Facts.
Yeah.
Then they get into a rut and it's missing big time. Also, men really don't pay attention to details like they should. Yes.
Yeah, true. That's
Truth.
true.
That, yes. Men need to learn how to listen to their other and take cues, so to speak.
Yes, absolutely.
And yes, Sugar Bear, they are coming in slow.
Yeah.
Tasha, so True. Right.
Yeah.
I think every situation is different. I do think that men should have better awareness of how to read their partner,
Oh yeah.
of how to know what they find romantic.
Right. And what they like and don't like. And that goes with romance, sex, everything.
Yeah, yeah. And, like personally, and I think this kind of goes into it a little bit because we're talking about the Disney princesses and the big fairy
Right.
tale. I try to raise my son to understand that whatever he sees isn't necessarily the truth.
True.
So if you get, I mean, 'cause look, we keep it 100. There's communication. So if you watch porn, that should not be your expectation.
Right.
That is not necessarily the way
Right.
things are going to work for
Right.
you.
They're
You're not gonna you didn't get paid to do that.
Yes.
What you see in a magazine is not necessarily a fair representation of things. And again, back to the movies. You can't always have these expectations.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Do y'all want to go into two, or are you ready to end now?
Well, we can just see what Sugar Bear
Right.
says, and then
Yes.
because he just left something okay.
Right.
We're like Sugar Bear,
Yeah.
right?
He'll be here at 3.
He's in the chat.
Oh, so he's okay. So Sugar Bear is asking this to the lady.
Okay.
When was the last time you had flowers delivered to you, like at your job, surprised?
Oh.
I don't know, because I'm not a.
I'm single, so it's been, I'm gonna say, about 8 years ago.
Everyone has a different view on what's romantic. That is not necessarily a romantic
I have a
gesture to me.
question. Since I got woken up,
And your question is?
is a lot of guys basically complain because when they try to do things romantic like send flowers, women accuse them of, well, you did something. Is this because you
that's
cheated?
true, yeah.
Oh,
You know.
really?
It's a suspicion behind the.
Then they're
Yeah.
just trying to do something nice, and
And also, I was going to say, sometimes, like for me, I would find that to be too generic
Mhm.
because that's not something that I would like. To me, what I would like is bring me something that you know is my favorite, whether it's my favorite gum, whether it's my whatever. No, seriously, because that means you're paying attention.
Mhm.
You're not just going generic and just anyone can send flowers to anyone.
Right.
What about something different? Going a different
what about
route?
acknowledging his effort?
What's that?
His effort.
Well, yeah.
At least
it's
he's
an eff-
trying.
if he feels it's an effort, then maybe.
But if someone that was with
You
me
know.
would know that absolutely would not
Right.
work for me.
And see,
So
just
being
like I don't
on
like Valentine's Day, I feel that you should get your flowers, your candy
All the time.
all the time. Why is
Yeah.
it a specific holiday for a man to get me flowers and candy?
So
Okay, no, so Travis says it and he says it best. I had to talk with my woman about what was romantic to her and vice versa. There you go. That's
no, I
something-
agree.
Yeah.
If I tell you I don't like certain things and you
Okay.
do it anyway, like for instance, my famous story is I don't even want to say it.
Why?
Yeah, say
We're
it.
forbidden.
Yeah.
Keep it forbidden.
I-
Let's
Yes.
go.
You started.
We're waiting. We're
Mhm.
waiting. TikTok.
Okay, 1 second. This is gonna be
Okay. I think you should have a talk, and I could see what Phoenix was saying that some women would think, "Oh, what'd you do?
Right.
Why you sending me
why
something?
you
What you
sending-
do? What
yeah,
did
it's
you
this whole
do?"
suspicion about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I
again,
think-
that's the
no,
relationship.
I think guys are smarter than that. If a guy goes out there and he has sex with another woman, he's not gonna send flowers to his partner because
Oh, to
it's
make up
gonna
for
look
it.
yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
to make up for it.
Mhm.
It's gonna look obvious that something's wrong.
Mhm.
I think guys
Especially
are
if it's not something that is done on the
On
normal.
a normal
Exactly.
basis, or like if it's your birthday,
guys
or
are way
Mother's Day
smarter
or
than
something
that.
like that.
No guy
Would be
would-
that
Mhm.
stupid.
would be that dumb to send flowers to a
Mhm.
woman to like say, oh my God, I slept with this other woman. Take these flowers as
Does
a
this make you feel better,
Mhm.
honey?
Yeah.
guys don't do that.
Have you received flowers
Oh
for
yeah, I've had flowers like actually in a long distance relationship,
Mhm.
like my partner sent me flowers from the US to
Mhm.
Barbados. Like he I think he bought them online and they were delivered to me in Barbados.
Okay.
Which was really sweet because I
Mhm.
missed him a
Mhm.
lot. And
That is sweet. That's different.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
think that's a little
Mhm.
different.
Yeah.
so then that was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
That's more like a
Mhm.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, one of those
Mhm.
moments.
Yeah.
So by the way, Sugar Bear chimed in, but he was responding to Latasha,
Okay.
who said, I've never had flowers delivered to me. So Sugar Bear is saying, really? That's what I'm talking about. And apologies for my fellow man. So I guess what he's saying is if you've never had it,
them,
how do
then-
you know
right.
if it's something
if it's yeah
good or not?
Mhm.
Right.
Again, here we go, person by person
Mhm. It depends.
basis.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. I think that was a really good example
Mhm.
though.
Yeah.
If there's just if you're away
Yeah, and
or
you're missing someone. You have a long distance relationship. That's
and you know
that's
they're thinking
different.
of you.
Yes,
And it's a
Mhm.
real surprise because they're not in the country. So how did they
right.
get flowers
Yeah,
to you?
yeah.
So
yeah.
I was like,
This
Mhm.
is good. Grab this. Romance can just be a poem.
That's
Exactly.
true. That's
Yeah.
true.
It
I've gotten poems before.
Right.
Yeah, that's a simple, sweet gesture. Yeah.
Or playing a song
Yes.
somebody
Mhm.
likes.
Or sending a
or-
song. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
it could come in
Yeah.
so many different
Mhm.
forms.
Right.
Yes.
It doesn't some of these
Right.
norms have to be changed. Latasha said yes,
Oh.
and thank you for the apology. I think that we all have our own definition. Is that you? Dana?
Yes.
Mhm.
I have the best friend-in-law.
Aw.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, sending flowers to yeah, I think you're right, Dana, when you said that men are smarter than that
Yeah.
because they think that they know that oh well
If I do
if I
this,
do
it's
this
gonna get me
then
in trouble.
it's gonna get me
Or it's gonna show me up. So I'm not gonna
Mhm.
I mean guys don't think like that.
Right,
So-
I have to say this because are we loving Sugar Bear today? Or are we just
I
loving
know.
Sugar Bear? And all women don't like flowers. Amen.
But as an example,
But as an example.
Yes,
I love
yes.
orchids.
Mhm.
Like my husband sent me an orchid for Valentine's Day.
Okay.
And the only problem with it is that I have to take care of it forever.
Oh.
Orchids are very difficult. to
Yeah.
And
care
they're
for.
so hard. And then eventually it died because I was just too busy.
But orchids
But I
are
love
actually
orchids.
symbolic
Mhm.
Yeah.
because they're tough,
Yeah.
but they're so
But they're
fragile.
fragile.
Right. That's
Mhm.
what was on the card.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's sweet.
So-
And how do you feel when he did that? I mean,
It was amazing. I mean, because he knows me so well
mhm,
and he chose that like specific
mhm,
flower for me, and I think that's what's special.
mhm.
Not necessarily that you get flowers, but maybe it's the type of flower that they
Mhm.
send.
Mhm.
Like he knows that you love roses,
Right, right.
or he knows that I love orchids,
Mhm,
and then that makes it special to me.
mhm.
But if it's just a random bouquet of flowers, then it's just a random bouquet of flowers.
Or just like
So-
Sugar Bear said, if you don't like flowers, or if it's just a poem, like Travis said, or
Yeah.
some type of tiny gesture or gift of a symbolic gift, that's special. That's
Well,
romantic.
I just remembered that once I did have the house filled with roses everywhere, like a vase.
Were you
Mhm.
mad?
A dozen everywhere, all over the place. And I thought that was cute. I
Mhm.
thought that was
The
cute.
question is, were you mad?
Was I mad?
Is that the question?
No, and only because the gesture was me walking in and just being like,
Surprised.
right, of having
That-
like every
Mhm.
single color, every single makeup, just roses everywhere.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was
Mhm.
like, I know he was trying to like just show something there.
Mhm.
And he-
It was a just because.
Right.
Yeah.
But
There
that
was
would
no
get
reason.
that would get anybody's attention to walk in and see so many
Yeah,
flowers.
Yeah.
that's
So
beautiful.
that's a little different.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a little different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Travis, romance loses its value when you put a price on it. Truth.
Mhm.
It should be straight from the heart. Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of like
any,
what I was just saying.
Yeah, any gift, something
Yeah.
of symbolism, it's coming from the heart. That's
If you
Mhm.
felt like filling up a bathtub full of rose
Okay, let me
petals.
ask you a question.
Yes.
If you had the opportunity to be with a man whose idea of romance was to fly you off to Paris
Mhm.
to a quaint little restaurant in a greatest hotel,
Mm-hmm.
and you had to choose between him and then you had another guy who could not afford that, but all he could afford is that cupcake that you like from store around the corner. Which one would excite you more? The trip to
Cupcake.
I would
Paris
say
or
the
the cupcake?
cupcake. Because it depends on who.
Don't look
No,
at me. Like,
no, it
like, no,
depends
Oh, let me see. Paris?
No,
I don't
it
know.
depends on who the cupcake is from. It depends
I'm
on
just
the
kidding.
guy. You
Well,
know, it
that's
depends
So will
on.
that cupcake be in Paris?
Like, see,
Okay, but wait, but don't, no, don't
But
go
what if
anywhere.
your what if your favorite croissant is in Paris
Can I ask you
and he
something?
took you to because that's
But-
where you
but
let's say that's
wait.
where you met.
You missed something.
Let's say that's where you met.
Okay.
In
And
Paris.
he
Okay.
took you to Paris
All right, it took you
To
back
where-
to where you met or something.
Okay.
That
and,
is
and he wanted to get you your favorite croissant because he knew
okay.
how much you loved it.
And
That's
But you
but-
had a choice between a prince and a pauper for the rest of your life. Would you prefer to struggle with the pauper, or would you want to ride with the prince?
Can I ask you a question? I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you.
No,
off. Let
well,
me,
first
no,
let them
I have
answer
to
first.
ask you a
Let
question.
them answer first, and then I'll
Okay,
let
all
you
right,
out.
Okay.
Okay. It depends on who the prince is, who the pauper is.
yeah.
If
No,
it's
we're keeping it like
Simple. Just keeping it simple.
simple.
Okay.
You can't.
You have two good men.
Okay.
Mhm.
One good man can afford to do more for you. The pauper can't afford to do as much for you, but they equally love you. They're both
Oh,
going to
for-
treat you well.
For me, it would come down to the dick. Who can
Oh.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
Hold on, wait.
Almost
No,
the
guys.
camera fell on that one.
Wait.
It would come down to the dick for me because
So,
it would come down to the dick for me because
Okay.
I'm not
So you have to try both out first.
this is legit. So
like
Latasha's
No,
saying the cupcake
no,
definitely because it's a sweet gesture. Sugar bear, you back. He's saying indeed sad state of affairs. Siobhan is saying you can make that pauper into a prince.
Exactly. I
But
like
why
that,
do you
Siobhan.
want to
I
change
like
him? What
that. I
What
like
if that pauper just wants to be a pauper? We talked about that earlier
and he
about
doesn't
people.
want to make that step
Okay,
into
well,
becoming a
He
prince.
just wants
let's
to-
pause there
He
because-
works in customer service. Remember that lady I told you about
Yes.
that sits in that
Oh,
cubicle?
okay,
She's
now
been in that
that
cubicle for
changes
30
things.
years.
That
But
changes things
it
for
doesn't
me.
make her a bad woman,
No,
Right.
and this doesn't make him a bad guy.
but
But would you go for the ambitious prince or king? Screw the prince. Would you go for the king or would you go for the pauper?
I honestly think it comes
I
down
would go
to
with I know my answer. I would go with the ambitious king because if he just
Finally,
wants
somebody
to
keeps it
just
real.
stay in the pauper wants to just stay at his customer service
Mhm.
job and send me a cupcake and don't have any ambition. No,
Right.
no,
Because you don't
absolutely
want,
not.
because it's not fair to the pauper to try and change him.
right.
well,
Right,
right, per
right.
the comment.
Mhm.
But like you said, there are variables.
Letitia, she says still the pauper.
How are you attracted? Which one are you attracted to more?
Right.
No, I'm saying they're equal. It's that
Same.
one
You're
life
the
is
same
gonna
in bed. You love
Right.
them equally.
Okay, yeah.
one
Yeah.
life is one
Okay.
life is gonna be more extravagant than the
Okay.
other. So
Okay.
would you as a person prefer to live the less extravagant life, or would you rather ride a more extravagant
I
lifestyle.
think it comes down to what we're saying, to ambition. I want to be with someone ambitious, whether that's you're a pauper
Right.
and you're just
Right.
trying to come on your
Right.
rise up.
Mm-hmm.
That I can, you know
But
what I mean?
he's
No, I'm
saying that they're
serious.
staying.
He's looking
He's
at
saying
me
the
like,
pauper
what
is
is
like
her reaction?
staying
He's just
at the
staring at me. He
customer
wants to hear my
service. Don't want to
No,
take
so
a step.
but if
or,
it, so that's what I'm saying. What if it was the pauper that wanted to be ambitious and was ambitious and was going to come out of that? Because you could be with a prince or a king
right.
that has everything, and he's just
he's
like,
just right. Yeah, yeah. And I agree
But
with that,
there's a
what
lot
you
of
just said.
but there's a lot of kings that need queens,
Right.
but these queens don't feel they deserve the king.
Mhm.
That is what I'm getting to.
Okay.
When you have little girls and you raise them to go for the guy that's not only going to treat them well, but you also want a guy that can give them the best
Yeah,
lifestyle.
to give them the
Exactly.
best lifestyle.
And you would want that same lifestyle for yourself.
Right, but you'd also, on the other hand,
But I'm saying it's you still want that king to be a good man
right,
because there are a lot of women that will even sit up there and go, well, why is that guy with that white woman?
hmm
You know, oh, he just with her because of a white girl. Did you even try?
yeah. But you also want
I'm
to
just saying.
No, I
raise
got
that
you.
little
I'm just
girl up
saying.
to saying also,
I'm just saying.
oh, yes, I want to raise you up to, have someone to look out, to have your back, to treat you
Mm-hmm.
right, to
Mm-hmm.
make sure you have a good life. But you also want to teach her, oh, you have to have it for yourself also, just in
Mm-hmm.
case that something happens. Not to say depend on this rich king, to take care of you, but have a career of your
But
own or something of your own
I
to
didn't
fall
say
back
I
on.
didn't. To me, a king and queen can be just as ambitious as a team. To
Mm-hmm.
me, the best marriage, the best relationship is when you're a team.
Right, right.
So you're the king, queen, the prince and princess, children. But I'm saying that don't aim low just because it's the politically correct thing to do.
Right,
Right.
right.
You know,
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I guess too, it
because
depends on the woman.
women
Because
complain about men not being ambitious enough and stepping up. But how many women make their men do it? How many women accept the men where they are, and how many women tell them, you know what, you're not getting this until you act right.
well, I personally feel there's a difference. If you're
Mm-hmm.
with someone and you see something in them and
Right.
you want to help them
Yes,
rise up,
exactly.
that's
You want to
one
have
thing.
their back.
You know, you want to
Yeah,
help them
I
That's
agree.
not
on
the
the come
scenario
up.
I presented.
Okay, you're right.
That's what I'm saying. The
But
scenario
you know what you did say
because you
though?
can throw in many variables
There are
to change
variables.
every subject. That's why I said they're both where they want to be in life.
Mm-hmm.
He is happy, like a lot of people are happy where he is in life. He doesn't want to go any higher.
But you
He
even
doesn't want to
took
go
it.
any lower.
You
Right,
even took it
right.
to
Yeah.
some women don't feel that they deserve it.
Some women don't feel like they
That's
deserve
well,
it.
Right.
and that's
Mm-hmm.
something that
I've seen it.
you can't change. You know, they have to change in themselves. I
Hmm.
don't think anyone could. Oh yeah,
Yeah. Travis says ambitious pauper, but they're not hearing how you're saying.
Hmm.
well, Latasha made a good point, which is even the rich have problems.
Oh yeah,
I
They're
didn't
not
say
going to
that.
take you.
I
definitely.
didn't
No,
say that.
right,
I
but
said
she's
because
saying for her.
you can have more problems with the pauper because now you got regular problems on top of money
poor
problems.
problem.
Well, sugar bear.
But the
The
ambitious
more money, the more
pauper,
problems.
yeah.
Okay,
If he was
sorry.
ambitious,
Less money,
He
less
didn't finish
more
that sentence,
problems
did he?
too. So
Right.
it works both ways.
yeah.
I mean, I guess you're posing a really a great question that just has so many tentacles.
Mm. But that's what I'm saying. That's why I kept it simple. That you got two good men that are going to treat you right and take care of you to the best of their ability, and you've got one who has. I mean, he went to college. He started his own business. He's an entrepreneur. He's
So
ambitious,
does
and
that make
that's
you a gold digger?
and that's how.
Right.
Right.
That
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
make
a
you a
whole
gold digger.
nother.
Can I answer
So,
that
are you a
question?
gold digger?
Can I answer that
If you
question?
let's say if you're not dating a homeless man, does that make you a gold digger?
No.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, so think of it this way. You have an opportunity to date a homeless guy who has nothing, but if you tell people, "Oh, I would never date a homeless guy," some people say, "Oh, that's because there's something wrong with you.
Right.
You
You're
don't
so and
respect.
so.
You don't respect.
Mhm.
Him as a human being. You
Mhm.
could raise him up. You can do this. You can do that. He might need meds and don't want to take them. So, so what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
I'm saying, don't knock someone for having money or ambition, and then they're looking for a queen, to ride with them and help them. Because I said a good husband and wife, a good boyfriend
It's a
girlfriend
team.
is a team.
Yes,
So
true.
he's not looking
I agree.
for a gold digger,
Right.
a trophy wife.
Mhm.
Like, let's say Michelle and Obama.
Mhm.
When they walk in, they both got law
They're
degrees.
beautiful.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mhm.
And then they went to the highest of the food chain together,
Mhm.
and they're
Right.
still working together. She got her books, her tours.
Mhm.
He's
They're making
touring,
shows and stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
he
but
has a
they show
foundation.
people that
Yeah.
they're a team.
Right. Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so, if you had that opportunity, would you have turned Obama away because he's not a pauper?
No, but you know what?
No.
You bring up an interesting
Mhm.
fact because you said some women don't feel worthy, which is coming from
Oh, that's true.
themselves. At the same time, though, what we're talking about is this thing that's almost ingratiated in us that, you know, if you go for that guy, oh, what are you just after his
Right.
money?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Right,
You
and
know what I
those are the
mean? So
same
you
people
look
that
at all
went
those.
Mhm.
alone
For me,
when the
What's
bills are
that?
due. Those are the same people that went alone when the bills are due.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm
Okay.
just
Mhm.
saying.
Well,
Okay.
that's
Keeping it
okay.
real.
You know,
Yeah.
keeping
for
it all the
me,
way.
if I had to choose between the two of them, I'll tell
Mhm.
you. I mean, yes, I know I said that I would go with the D, which is true. I right, but it would come down to picking the person who I think I love the most,
Mhm.
because
True.
there's always going to be someone that you love more than the other,
Mhm.
whether they're rich or poor. Like you're gonna love one of them more than the
Mhm.
other, and for me, that is the route that I would take.
But he
Yeah.
said both of them were equally,
Because
Yeah,
you know.
but that's what I'm saying. It's almost a test to see where your head is. Are you? Why are you so quick to dismiss someone who's made something of themselves financially?
Well,
Mhm.
Travis is telling us why. The
what did he
king
say?
could be a serial killer.
Exactly.
Oh.
Well, tell Travis,
True.
tell Travis, tell
Yes.
Travis this. Listen,
Mhm.
that he is doing things, moving and shaking, and he's going to be the king. And is he saying he don't want any queens in the kingdom
Thanks, Siobhan.
because he might be a serial killer?
Okay, did you hear that, Travis?
Oh, and Sugar Bear says this one, you orchids are lovely and not the norm. Smart guy. Yes.
Yes. Thank you. He
Um,
is.
you should grow together.
True.
Agreed.
Agree.
Mhm.
Agreed,
I
Travis.
agree.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but what if he's already ahead of you, and he just giving you a quick head start?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
I mean, because
I
if we're
mean.
taking it down to what you're saying, keeping it all the way real, you feel
Mhm.
the same about both,
Right.
but you have an
I don't
opportunity
want the
to not
person in a
struggle.
certain scenario to feel like it's a gold digger scenario,
Okay.
because it's not a gold digger scenario.
Right.
It's just that a lot of times the king is cast in the role of the villain,
Mhm.
or you're
Right.
not good enough for him
Right.
because while all
Because.
these other girls out here,
Yeah. Mhm.
they don't have a problem with dating the king.
Mhm.
They don't have a problem spending the king's money. But you have something in your head that tells you,
Mhm.
I'm not supposed to do this. It's like programming,
Mhm.
because of what are people going to think? If I'm the
Right.
one that's
Yeah.
dating Tiger Woods, they're going to think, oh, it's not that I met Tiger Woods, we had a good time, we got to know each other, I thought he was a great
Mhm.
guy. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, he's got money. So
Mhm.
now they think I'm
Right.
automatically think I'm a gold digger.
Right.
I yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I see what you're saying,
Yeah.
but
I'm just trying to
besides
open
that
minds
being
up.
I say
in our
always
head,
keep.
right? Instead of that being in our head, I mean, maybe you're right. You know, there's nothing wrong with being someone who could bring you on the rise up.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
help you
But
fulfill your dreams.
but
Mhm.
if you wake up in the morning and you're on the rise up and you
But what
realize
if he's
I
got the
don't.
best dick?
Then
There you
my
go.
And then that's
Okay,
that's
there
it.
you go.
There you go.
He's got the
That's
best dick.
Yeah.
He's the
well,
king
I mean,
and he's the king
Yeah.
dingling.
Well, the
Wow.
king won.
King
Yeah.
definitely
Get the
wins.
palace, get the chick, get everything ready.
But
Well,
if it's reversed,
What
the
if
pauper has
no?
the better dick,
Then you'll
you
cheat.
know what? The king would have to.
Then
I'm
you'll
sorry,
cheat.
King. I'm sorry, King.
Hey,
I will.
King, I got a new boy to cut the lawn and the pool boy.
No.
I got a
Well-
Manny today for the
well,
kids.
well.
But what if the king has a gherkin?
But on a, oh my god.
What if?
No, he said they're equal.
They're
He said the
equal.
men are equal.
So that's why I said it's
Do they
easy
both
to
have
put
the
in.
same size penis?
Right.
Yeah,
That's what I said.
That's
But I'm
what
saying
it is.
they're equal
Okay.
by
and
putting them
everybody.
on equal footing.
Oh my god.
They
It
have
comes
the same
down to
everything.
Where do you
it-
guys get these questions? Like, oh my god.
Okay. Well then. Yeah.
see why is it so hard to say yes I would like the man that'll help me with the best life.
I mean,
Why is it so hard? And the real question is, who put it in your head that you don't deserve it?
I think it's been
Right.
because of this
Mhm.
whole stigma of like, oh, you're just a gold digger.
Yeah.
I think it goes back to
going
that.
with the-
You know, it
There-
went
guy
from
who has
And there's a
money
lot of men out there that
um,
said, you're mad because I'm with this white girl, but you didn't want me when I was trying to talk to you.
Right.
So them, even those guys on the rise up,
Mhm.
you know, you're like, oh, that's a
True,
nerd.
true.
You know, or, oh, he's just a dreamer.
Mhm.
You know, but then when they get with someone even that doesn't even look like they deserve them, like they may not be the beauty queen that you would think they
See, I
are.
hate that. I
Or,
hate
or
that.
if,
But there's people that would judge him for not having the Barbie doll.
Well, you know what?
Mhm.
Keanu Reeves is coming under fire for that because he's now dating a woman of his age,
Mhm.
and everyone's like, he's not dating someone younger and pretty. So it's becoming a problem that he's not doesn't have a Barbie doll. It's a problem. I'm so
he's-
opposed to that.
Because
Why do
he's that
looks
type of
matter?
person. He is that type of person that would connect with someone on an emotional heart. down to
Right. So
earth
why does
level.
it have to
Right.
be?
Why does that and that person's not going to be a Barbie doll?
right.
Because if they're a
But why
Barbie doll,
can't Barbie be good too? It works both scenarios.
but not for him. He's
Yeah,
not that
yeah.
type
No,
of
because
person.
he's actually getting
I'm
picked on
teasing.
for
I'm
it.
teasing.
Yeah.
I'm teasing.
Oh,
That's
so
not-
Latasha says sometimes the rich, ambitious man will let you know that he has the power.
And
Right.
prestige.
And Travis,
But we
I
also
need a
we also
serial
talked about
killer,
women that don't
serial
allow the
pussy.
men to be men. So as long as if he has the power and he does not abuse that power, it's fine.
right?
I think
Because there's a lot of women that work behind the scenes and
Oh,
run
yeah.
the show,
Right.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
and
yeah.
he has the power, but she also is the one that runs the show because they're a team.
right. And
So-
as long as he
So we're
knows
not
that,
talking about the negative scenarios where he's abusive,
we're
where
talking about the positive where he gets it,
Right.
where he knows.
because there's a lot of people that get mad when they
Okay.
see you with him, and they had plenty of chances to do the same. Because I'm telling you, from the guy's point of view, that complained because when they were trying, you weren't paying attention to them.
True.
And my
yeah.
thing is, why weren't you paying attention?
Right. There's a
Right.
You know, why were you chasing the guy who obviously wasn't going anywhere?
Right.
You know, instead of paying attention to the guy who was. And then when a white girl comes in the scenario and, you know, picks up that piece of gold, you go, bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, you know, she saw the
She
gold
saw
and
the potential.
she
in
picked it
him.
up.
right.
Yeah.
You know, but so you can't be mad.
Mm-hmm.
But you can be mad at yourself if you pass it up because of what other people might think.
Exactly.
Right.
That was your decision not to.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you can't
For
blame
whatever
someone
reason.
else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Definitely.
See, if Sharon had an earpiece in, you'd be getting earful.
Thanks, Sugar Bear.
Yes.
Real talking.
Real talk. Sugar Bear is on fire
Yes.
today.
Mhm.
All a part of the
Well,
conversation.
I mean, I get it, but you know, I guess we were
Exactly,
in our mind.
Janice.
It's like, oh, you know, we're gold
Janice is
diggers if we
bullshitting
go
about
after the
serial
guy,
killer,
you know.
not cereal.
Oh, what?
Hmm?
So Janice, what's her last name? Gilroy. She says no shade, but cereal.
Oh
with a
yeah,
S, not
because he
cereal with a
spelled
C.
cereal that
Like
you're
cereal that
eating
you eat.
cereal.
Yeah,
Killer.
Travis wants a cereal, a queen cereal killer.
But then
Okay.
And
Travis,
he spell it cereal with a C.
Yeah, instead of with the S.
but he
I
also
guess he went to a queen that likes to eat. I don't know.
Probably.
he did just say you should have someone that suits you.
Yeah.
I think at
Yeah.
the end of the day,
Yeah.
that's
And I'm saying it's okay to want more.
yes,
That's what it comes down to. It's okay to want more.
yeah,
It's okay to have a man take the
It
wheel
is. It is.
and just be
Absolutely.
like,
It
I
is.
got you.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is the test. When a man says he got you, and he do.
Yes, and would you be submissive?
And would you be submissive if you knew he got you? Because you don't have to wear the pants and play that role if he's already got it. It's like two cooks in the kitchen that's trying to fight over the same pot.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a decent conversation where you say, look, this is my ideal relationship. I would like you to do this, this, and this. I want to do that, that, and that. What is your take on this? People don't have those conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And then if he says, it makes me feel more like a man if I can make these decisions, and I would love for a woman to do this for me, and you agree, then you get married.
But
You
that
make
can
it
go
so
that
simple.
could go the other way too. The woman could say that.
It's simple because I'm
you
46,
know. The woman could say
and
that
that's
could
what
be
I had to do.
reversed.
I had to find out what I really
You know?
wanted out of life. Once
before
I've
you could.
commit,
Right.
once I
Which is
figured
the
out what I
right-
really wanted,
That's the right way.
then it became very easy. And then you get a lot of people mad because you're like, well, these are always say you do your list of what you want, what you don't want, and what you absolutely can't handle. And then people that fall in the category of absolutely can't handle, don't even give them time of the day, no matter what's good in the bedroom.
Yeah, because you're
You
not
leave them
gonna be
alone because
happy.
you know it's never going to go anywhere because you're
Right.
not going to be accepting of, let's say, drug use,
Yeah.
can't keep a job, abusive,
Abuse. Yeah.
you know,
Physical or emotional.
or
Ugly
verbal.
toes,
Verbal.
ugly
Mhm.
toes,
Yeah.
If that's your thing,
ugly toes.
if that's your thing, then it'll bother you. Then you
Right.
know that this is somebody who you probably physically you would never be happy with. Move on. But then there's your compromise list. You know, I don't like it, but I don't hate it.
It's not a deal breaker.
Right.
And then you have your absolutes. You must be this. You must absolutely be able to maintain a job. You must absolutely be ambitious. You must absolutely be compatible in bed.
Right.
You must absolutely love kids.
What's
You
a
know,
deal breaker
it's-
for you guys?
Yeah.
What's a deal breaker in a relationship for you guys? Like, what will you absolutely not tolerate in a relationship?
Abuse
Right.
is top. Um.
That's broad.
Well, not for me.
No ambition.
Not for me. I grew up in an abusive household. So I said I will never be in that kind of relationship. So anytime I see a sign, you raise your voice, you acting a fool,
You're out.
you always little things, you like go from 1 to 100, I'm done. There's no second chances, and there's no, you just like for me, drugs is one of them. As soon as I find out you're doing it, I'm done. I don't have to go any further.
Right.
If you even look like you want to fight and have one of those kind of relationships, I'm done.
Yeah.
It's not, oh, the sex is so good, it's passionate. No,
Right. Yeah. That's
I'm
yeah.
done.
And you guys.
I
can
grew up with
chime
that
in
as a kid.
too. What's a deal breaker for you in a relationship?
I'm sorry to break in, so
No.
so y'all haven't done your deal breakers,
Oh.
so
Abuse, that's a good one. It's broad only because there's so many things that fall under that umbrella of abuse. I think my biggest deal breaker is honestly lack of motivation. Yeah, because if you have dreams and there's things you want to pursue, and you're with someone that's like loves to talk about it. Oh yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. But
And
they
then
don't.
do
They
anything.
never.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that is even. I mean, listen. the mental abuse, the abuse of so many things is, I know it's not exactly the same, but it kind of is, because
Yeah.
it's putting something in your head and it's not
That's
coming
true.
through, you
right,
know,
right.
making you miserable.
Yeah, they're sitting around saying the same thing day after day, but then it's like,
Yeah.
Okay, so Travis says at the end of the day, you need to have someone to have your back, good and bad.
He,
true,
also,
very
he
true.
also said, yes, I know I spelled zero, zero wrong.
Ramona, abusive, can't keep a job and have a good conversation.
That's a good
Okay.
one, Ramona, and welcome.
Janice, no verbal abuse, no financial abuse, no emotional abuse, no drugs, no laziness, no drive to be better.
To be better.
Agree.
Correct.
Agree.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
again, that goes
Yeah.
back to that
Mhm.
umbrella being
Yes.
pretty large
Mhm.
of things that can be considered abusive.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You know, you're not doing this, you're not doing that.
Mhm.
That's abusive in different ways.
Yeah, yeah.
Agreed, 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, abuse is definitely top on the list too.
Mhm.
Because I experienced that in my first marriage. So he was very aggressive.
Mhm.
He actually hit me when I was pregnant
Oh
with my
no.
first son. So
Oh no.
abuse is not okay.
Mhm.
If you're in an abusive relationship,
Yes.
it's not worth it.
Mhm.
Regardless of how much you love that person, they will always be abusive.
Yes.
And work on yourself. If
Mhm.
that's the case,
Yeah.
pay attention to you, get the help
Mhm.
you need,
Right.
and don't try to change someone because they never will
They will
change.
never change.
Right.
Change you.
And that goes for the men too. If you're in an abusive relationship, there's women out there who abuse men.
Mm-hmm.
You know, same thing. It goes both ways.
Take care of you. It's the biggest thing I
Yeah,
would
For
say.
sure.
Yeah.
Find help for yourself.
Yeah.
And how to make you better so that you're not in a situation like that again.
Yes. Yes.
You know the signs.
Oh, and the second thing for me is communication. If we can't communicate about our relationship, there's no point in having a relationship.
That's a big one. Communication is a big one, especially if you're in, like you said, a long distance relationship.
Oh, yeah.
It's very important to communicate because you don't get to see that person and be with that person all the time. So that's a big one.
But
Yeah.
that can be tricky because when you're texting and video calling and video sexing that person, then when you get there, you realize, oh, they don't have to communicate anymore.
True.
So you think you're communicating, but
Yeah.
you're really not.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, that's
You're
a good
communicating because you have to.
point.
But then when you're next to that person, do
It's
they
like-
communicate as effectively as
like
when
they did
that-
Because
when-
they don't have to.
right,
like you said.
because you're there and you're not
right.
where you are.
So
yeah.
having a long distance relationship is not a good judge on communication.
Or on what the relationship
Will
will
be
really
like.
be like.
when
Because
you're with
it's-
that person.
right,
That's
it's
a really,
not
really
day to
bad
day.
example.
It's you know, because there's gonna be more love, more affection, more compassion because you want to be together
Right.
and you're not.
Yeah.
But what are the chances when you actually have the
Are
chance to do it
together, right?
that it's gonna work and you're like, this worked out perfectly.
Right.
You know,
right.
like let's just keep it real, right?
Right. What is it?
I like that one though. No financial abuse.
Yes, but I'm saying like it
Yeah.
all
No
falls
financial
in.
abuse.
There's so many
Right.
ways to abuse a person.
Yeah.
So financial could be even holding it over your head or
right.
saying,
yes.
Right. I
you
did
gotta
this.
ask
I paid
me-
for that.
Right.
Yeah.
you want something,
Right.
you gotta ask me, I'll
Mhm.
give you the money.
Mhm.
You
Right.
get
Right.
it.
Right.
And then would you be submissive to a man who's holding you financially ransom? No.
No.
No. Absolutely not.
No,
Like
no.
I don't even like ladies, I want you to chime in and answer the question if you can, from your perspective. How do you see being submissive to a man? Like what is
Right.
what is submission
What is submission?
to you? Like how do you submit to a man?
Right.
Like that's something that I would really want to hear.
Yeah, and define
ladies.
submission. Define the term submission. What
Yeah.
you think submission is.
Yeah.
or even what you think.
Because if a guy pays my rent, it doesn't mean I have to be submissive.
Mm-hmm.
If he's emotionally, like, if we're emotional and we're in a relationship and things are going well, I think submission would be kind of like more. It should be respectful between two people. Like he should be able to be submissive to me as well, intimately.
True.
Is it
True.
intimate or so? I don't know. I'm kind of
Mm.
confused on that one.
It's kind of like, almost like, well, I paid your rent. What are you going to give me? You know, you owe me. What are you going to do for me if I gave you money for one of your bills? You
But that's
know,
not submission, right? That's not.
I mean,
That's I'm
That's
paying
that's
your
true.
not
bill.
submission.
That's I'm paying your bill and you owe me
Right,
something.
yeah. Or if they take you out to dinner and
Right.
say,
Or
if you're,
trading off.
you
That's a
know,
trade.
That's a
yeah,
trade.
you
Yeah.
go out to dinner and they're like, oh, I paid for dinner. So you paid for dinner. What are you expecting?
Exactly. Like
Mhm.
why should
Right.
you expect anything back? You know, like
Mm-hmm.
Everything both parties do should be done with no expectation.
Right, right. Mm-hmm.
Which is
yeah,
basically what you're saying, right? Like,
yeah,
why does there have to be an expectation?
of something in return.
Travis, you have to keep that communication when you meet as well, long distance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
True.
True.
I feel that two people are compatible in all ways. I don't think submission is necessarily about sex.
True.
Truth.
Yeah.
Submission can mean a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Some men like their women mentally submissive.
Right.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Submission can be a form of control. Okay, so
Yes. Submission
lot
is
of
a form
Letitia
of
is
Yeah.
saying that
Mm-hmm.
submission is a form of control.
it
Yeah.
is. A
Mhm.
lot of men use that as leverage.
Yes, they do.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To control you. And that's kind of what we're trying to touch
Mhm.
upon.
Right.
What are these different things? What is it comprised of?
Mhm.
What do each people see that look like?
Yeah.
Because Janice is saying that she doesn't think submission is about sex.
I don't think it is
No,
either.
I don't think so. But I think it comes to a point where it it can be, because if you're in a marriage or in a relationship and the husband comes home and he's like, I expect this, and this done, because you're my wife and you should have this done and be ready, for me. I
And then you
mean,
submit to him
right,
sexually.
yeah. I mean, not only sexually, but having that list that he's expecting your dinner cooked and the kids clean and the house clean, and then you give him a beer and then you in the bedroom,
She's taking it
you
a bit
know.
too far. Like, give him a beer and
Give him a beer and like, okay, let's go,
what?
Yeah,
Okay.
Well,
that's no.
First of all, if I clean and I cook and I look after the kids, by the time you get home, I'm probably so tired.
Right, right.
Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not even thinking about being submissive if that's how you're looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't know.
It's
Like,
a form of control.
Janice is saying, 'cause remember we were saying that submission can be a form of control, and she's saying it's a form of control if it's misused. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Also, if two are truly in love, things are done naturally.
Right.
Yes.
True. True.
It wouldn't be looked
Mhm.
at as a good or a bad thing. It would just be what you do for each other.
Yeah.
There wouldn't have to be submission on
Yeah.
your
That's
end.
what we're saying. He should be able to submit to you as well.
Right.
True. That's what I said.
If
And
a man is unable to submit to a woman, it means that he has some kind of ego issues.
I
That's
think,
how I
yeah,
feel.
I agree.
Like, I'm the
I
man
agree.
and you
Mhm.
have to submit
Yes,
to me
yeah,
and I'm not
yeah.
submitting to you. And
Well, and a lot of
That's-
it too has to
that's
get
a-
back to what do we see as submission?
right.
Right, defining submission. And I guess
Right.
there's different ways that we think that what is submission. And that's also a question in our Facebook group. You can go online to Phoenix Tremaine's Forbidden Conversations, and that question is up online.
Mhm.
Also, we have a question online. It's an older question, but I want to get you all to chime in. Does penis size matter? Does it?
Don't look at me because you already know the answer to my question.
I
To that
say
question.
yes.
Of
Yes.
course it does. It matters.
I don't. I think. Listen. I can't speak for the general populi here, but for me,
Populi.
yeah. Um, too big is too big, and too small is too small.
True. Yeah.
Right.
We don't want a gherkin, and we don't want a horse.
Yeah.
A penis.
Too big
That's
is too big.
Too big is too big.
But you know what? To be honest with you, there are some positions that you can get into with a small penis that works.
Truth. It'd probably be easier than if it was a freaking something that hung like piping. You know,
Yeah.
like yeah.
So what are
There's
those
a-
positions?
Yeah,
So like, okay, so you're lying on your back
Mhm.
and you put one leg